Welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Inong, coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu reunites Wike, Fubara, and lawmakers. JAMB raises concern over low slip printing ahead of 2025 UTME mop-up exam. Plus, Israel says it hit 900 targets in Iran since conflict killed 11 nuclear scientists. Details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned and good afternoon once again. We begin the news from the national scene where President Bola Tinubu has reunited the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and members of the State House of Assembly. Reports say the resolution of the crisis came after a meeting between Tinubu and the aggrieved parties at the presidential villa Abuja yesterday. The meeting with the president came after an earlier one between Fubara, the FCT ministers, and lawmakers. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onauga, in a post on his X handle, confirmed the development, noting that President Tinubu demonstrated he wanted peace for Rivers State. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed optimism that the modern bus terminals in Abuja will improve security and ease transportation challenges in the Federal Capital Territory. Tinubu added that the terminals will in no small measure contribute to his administration's zeal to improve the fortunes of the people through improved connectivity, reduced travel time, and economic growth. The president, who was represented by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, spoke at the inauguration of the Kubwa Bus and International Taxi Terminal in the FCT yesterday. He challenged FCT residents to cooperate with the management to ensure its smooth operations, explaining that his administration decided to prioritize high-impact transportation infrastructure because of the undeniable fact that no nation records progress without modernizing and expanding its public mobility and its utilities. In the meantime, the presidency has announced the historic appointment of Grace Morenike Henry as the new chairman of the National Council of the Nigerian Legion. This appointment, approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, marks a significant milestone as Henry becomes the first female and first non-commissioned officer to assume the leadership of the Nigeria's foremost veterans organization. The spokesperson for the Nigerian Legion, Abdul Lawyer, made this known in a statement made available to newsmen. He said the appointment conveyed through a letter signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, takes effect from June 7, 2025. According to the statement, Grace Morenike Henry, born on October 5, 1964, brings over 25 years of distinguished service experience, having retired from the Nigerian Army in the year 2000. And from the Red Chambers, the Senate has urged the federal government to seek foreign help to enable the country overcome the growing insecurity in the land. The Red Chamber was reacting to rising cases of bandit attacks and killing of military personnel and innocent Nigerians by armed bandits across the country. It advised the government to charge the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigerian Police, and other security agencies to be alive to their responsibilities as well as develop innovative ways to combat the rising spate of insecurity in the country. The Senate also urged the federal government to collaborate and engage with foreign influencers to develop modern ways of fighting insecurity with the use of technological and scientific means to save lives and protect the lives of its patriotic officers and men in the security agencies to further minimize casualty level during operations. The resolution of the Senate followed its consideration and adoption of a motion titled Armed Bandits Attack a Nigerian Military Base around Kwanan Dutse, Mariga local government area of Niger State. Urgent need for the federal government to step up and upgrade its security apparatus to check the rising spate of incessant attacks by bandits and terrorists. Meanwhile, the Senate Public Accounts Committee (SPAC) has issued a 10-day ultimatum to the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), Bayo Ojulari, to respond to audit queries involving trillions of naira in public funds. The committee expressed dissatisfaction over NNPCL's failure to appear before it. Despite earlier demands for explanations to 11 critical audit queries, the queries stem from significant discrepancies uncovered in the company's financial records, which drew public concern. The committee rejected a formal request from the NNPCL seeking a 2-month postponement of its appearance, citing the absence of key officials who are reportedly on a management retreat. Describing the excuse as unacceptable, SPAC's chairman, Ahmed Wadada, stressed that the matter required no fresh documents but direct answers to pending questions already presented to NNPCL at its last appearance. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has expressed concern over the low turnout of candidates who have printed their examination notification slips, an essential requirement to sit for the upcoming mop-up UTME. In a statement issued by the board's spokesperson Fabian Benjamin, JAM revealed that as of the morning of Friday, the 27th day of June, only 12,442 out of 98,232 registered candidates have printed their slips, representing a mere 12.6% turnout. And back here in Akwa Ibom State, Governor Pastor Umar Eno has directed the State Commissioner for Finance, Bob, to take over the coordination and supervision of the Ministry of Special Duties and Ibom Deep Sea Port to ensure that all projects and programs continue seamlessly and are delivered within timelines. Briefing Government House correspondents shortly after the State Executive Council meeting, the State Commissioner for Information, Anyekan Imana, said the decision was part of the resolutions reached during the meeting. According to him, the Executive Council considered the presentation by the Ministry of Youth Development on the Akwa Ibom State Youth Development Roadmap and approved the hosting of the Arise Skills Development Week from July 13 to 15, 2025. To coincide with the United Nations Youth Skill Development Day, he stressed that ESCO further approved the commencement of youth engagement programs, including the establishment of youth-friendly centers across the entire state, which will serve as a hub for learning, collaboration, and innovation, with a pilot in Uyo, the state capital. Meanwhile, to improve water supply, sanitation, and hygiene in the state, the Executive Council reviewed the various WASH documents presented by the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, including the Akwa Ibom State WASH Policy, WASH Monitoring and Evaluation Framework, the Roadmap for making Akwa Ibom State open defecation free by 2030, and the Akwa Ibom State Water Regulation Bill 2025, directing the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice to ensure transmission of the draft bill to the State House of Assembly for consideration and passage into law. The information boss also disclosed that the Executive Council also reviewed the state's investment books and directed the Akwa Ibom State Investment Corporation to exit the state government from non-profitable companies and ventures, further approving the inclusion of the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and the Commissioner for Finance as statutory members of all boards of government-owned establishments. He noted that in order to rekindle sports development and ensure youth sport activities in the state, The Council, following the presentation by the Ministry of Sport, approved the hosting of the Akwa Ibom State Sports Festival 2025, noting that the activities will commence from July to September 2025, with a coordinating committee to be headed by the Commissioner for Sport, Elder Paul Bassi. The Executive Council acknowledged the celebration of the Civil Service Week and congratulated the head of the civil service and public servants in the state for a very impactful celebration, promising full participation of the state government in events lined up to be celebrated, which will climax a Thanksgiving service on Sunday, June 29. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that the governor further thanked council members for their support throughout the period of the state's progressive movement and further tasked the members of the Executive Council to recommit to the ideals of the Arise agenda by working extra hard to ensure the delivery of dividend of democracy to the people. And now to Africa, where Kenya's interior minister has accused protesters of a coup attempt after deadly demonstrations were witnessed in many cities and towns across the country. The interior minister, Kipachumba Makumen, assessed the damage to businesses in the capital, Nairobi, where goods were stolen from multiple stores. He said police would follow up with owners whose CCTV cameras captured the looters to ensure swift arrest. Recall that Kenyans mobilized Wednesday's protest on social media platforms to mark the first anniversary of huge anti-tax protests when demonstrators stormed parliament and at least 60 people were reportedly killed and 20 others missing. And on the foreign scene, Israel's military says it struck more than 900 targets inside Iran during its unprecedented Operation Rising Lion. The Israel Defense Forces IDF claimed the operation killed 11 Iranian nuclear scientists and 30 senior security officials, including 3 top commanders. The IDF in a statement noted that the operation struck more than 900 targets overall, destroying 200 missile launchers, which the IDF claimed a half of all of Iran's launchers. The strikes also destroyed aircraft and missile production sites, thereby preventing the manufacture of thousands of additional missiles. And still on the foreign scene, Japan on Friday executed a man who murdered and dismembered 9 people he met online in the nation's first enactment of the death penalty since 2022. Takahiro Shiraishi, 34, was hanged for killing his young victims, all but one of whom were women. After contacting them on the social media platform now called X, he had targeted users who posted about taking their own life, telling them he could help them in their plans or even die alongside them. Justice Minister Keisuke Suzuki said Shiraishi's crime, carried out in 2017, including robbery, rape, murder, destruction of a corpse, and abandonment of a corpse, Japan and the United States are the only 2 G7 countries to still use capital punishment, and there is strong support for the practice among the Japanese public surveys show. And still to come in the news, Raducanu to face British teenager Zhu at Wimbledon. Many thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, Nigeria, Egypt, and Morocco have been listed as the highest recipients of the $95 billion remittance into the African continent in 2024. This was revealed in the State of Africa's Infrastructure Report 2025, published by the African Finance Corporation. The report indicated that the diaspora remittances have proved to be more stable than the foreign direct investment and official development assistance. And still in business, the Nigerian Ports Authority and other stakeholders in the maritime sector have called for a strengthened national policy framework to tackle marine debris and safeguard the future of Nigerian oceans. They made the call in Lagos during the 2025 summit of the Shipping Correspondents Association of Nigeria. They lamented that the marine debris impairs navigational safety and port operations, polluting coastlines, undermining tourism, coastal livelihoods, and community health, amongst others. The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Dr. Abubakar Dantosho, explained that the marine debris threatens biodiversity, including fish, marine mammals, and seabirds, often resulting in entanglement and ingestion, represented at the event by the principal manager of the marine at NPA. Femi Oyewole, the NPA boss, said that as custodians of the Nigeria seaports, the NPA is deeply committed to advancing national and global efforts to combat marine litter and preserve the integrity of the marine ecosystem. In health, a clinical pharmacist, Dr. Olumide Obube, has faulted Nigeria's current drug control approach, describing it as disproportionately focused on criminalizing drug users rather than offering healthcare-based interventions. He noted that existing policies often ignore the public health and human rights dimensions of drug use, resulting in more people being arrested than being referred for professional help or treatment. Furthermore, the pharmacist decried the scarcity of rehabilitation facilities, noting that fewer than 20 public drug rehab centers exist nationwide, with most of them concentrated in major urban areas. Obube noted that to address the crisis effectively, Nigeria must strengthen primary prevention efforts, particularly among the youth. He suggested school-based life skill education, tighter regulation of pharmaceutical supply chains, digital anti-drug campaigns, and increased parental involvement. And now to sportswear. Emma Raducanu has been drawn against teenage wildcat Mimi Zhu in an eye-catching all-British first-round match at Wimbledon. Reports say if British number one Raducanu beats 17-year-old Zhu, she will face either 2023 champion Marketa or 32nd seed McCartney Kessler in the second round. Raducanu, ranked 38 in the world, is not seeded at the championships. The grass court Grand Slam begins at an All England club on Monday. And still in sports, Norwegian club Hakam have completed the signing of Peter Edache from Makanyam Football Club. Hamkam made the decision to sign the youngster after he impressed during a trial at the club. Both clubs have chosen not to disclose the details of the contract. The 18-year-old, who grew up in Kaduna, is noted for his impressive footballing skills. On our entertainment news, popular Nigerian skit maker Kata Efe has lost his Instagram and TikTok accounts. The development came days after he criticized Afrobeat singer Wizkid during a live stream. Speaking in a series of posts on X, the content creator stated that his Instagram account with 1.8 million followers has been taken down by Wizkid FC, and his TikTok account has also been blocked. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Enung. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.